Episode 8, Echoes of the Truth. The SUV roared down the highway, rain hammering the windshield. Rachel sat in the back seat, wrists tied with plastic cuffs, her body aching from the struggle. Her mind raced. Where were they taking her? Was this it? Would she ever see daylight again? She stared out the window, trying to stay calm. Think. Focus. She had done everything she could. The files were gone, racing away in the back of that farmer's truck. The truth was already out. Even if they buried her, they couldn't bury what she uncovered. That thought gave her a thin thread of hope to hold on to. The SUV took an exit ramp, heading toward a stretch of abandoned warehouses near the old industrial part of town. Rachel's stomach twisted. This wasn't a police station. It wasn't anywhere good. The driver made a sharp turn and pulled into a cracked, weed-covered parking lot. No other cars, no people, just silence and decay. Perfect place for someone to vanish forever. One of the men got out and yanked open her door. "Move," he barked. Rachel stumbled out, heart pounding. The men marched her toward a heavy steel door. Inside, the warehouse was dark, cold, and empty, except for a single chair under a flickering light. They shoved her into it. A third man stepped out of the shadows. Clean suit, cold eyes. He looked at Rachel like she was less than dirt. "You caused a lot of problems, Miss Turner," he said calmly. Rachel lifted her chin. "And you caused a lot of dead girls." The man smiled thinly. "Careful, you're already on very thin ice." He pulled out a folder, not the ones Rachel had stolen, but something else. Inside were photos. Photos of Rachel, at her school, at her house, even inside her favorite coffee shop. They had been watching her for weeks, maybe months. Rachel felt a chill crawl up her spine. "You think you can beat us?" the man said. "We don't lose." Rachel forced a small smile. "You already did." The man's face darkened. "You have no idea what you're dealing with." He leaned closer. "Project Echo isn't just about Willow Creek. It's everywhere. Every town, every school, every parent." Rachel's heart skipped a beat. What is it?" He chuckled coldly. "Insurance," he said. "Control." He stood up straight. "And you're about to disappear so neatly, no one will ever think twice." He nodded to the two men. They moved toward Rachel, pulling something from their jackets, a syringe. Rachel struggled, kicking at the chair, but it was bolted to the ground. "No," she screamed. "You're too late. Everyone knows." The man in the suit chuckled again. "Not enough, and not in time." Suddenly, a loud crash. The front doors of the warehouse burst open. Floodlights poured in. Shouts, footsteps. Dozens of figures in dark jackets flooded the building, but not the same kind of men who had kidnapped her. These had bright yellow letters on their backs. FBI. The suited man's face turned white. The agents shouted commands. "Drop your weapons! Hands in the air! Step away from the girl." The two men hesitated, then dropped the syringe and raised their hands. Rachel sat frozen in shock as the warehouse filled with chaos. Within minutes, the three men were handcuffed and led away. Agent rushed over to Rachel and cut the plastic cuffs from her wrists. "You're safe now," he said. Rachel blinked up at him, dazed. How did you find me?" The agent smiled. "Anonymous tip," he said. "Someone sent us everything. The files, the recordings, even a location tag." Rachel's chest tightened. Mr. Carter, he had made sure she wasn't alone. He had saved her. Outside, the gray clouds were finally breaking apart. The first beams of sunlight pierced through, warm and golden. Rachel sat on the back of an ambulance, wrapped in a blanket, answering questions from the agents. She told them everything. About Emma, about the files, about the men who had hunted her. They listened carefully, respectfully, and when she was done, they promised her, "We're taking them down. All of them." Over the next few days, the news exploded. Every major network, every headline. National scandal, Willow Creek conspiracy uncovered. Project Echo, dark secrets hidden across the country. Whistleblower student saves lives, exposes network of corruption. Rachel's face wasn't shown. They protected her identity. But inside, she knew. She had kept her promise to Emma, and to all the other victims no one had listened to. Mr. Carter survived too. Bruised, battered, but alive. When Rachel visited him in the hospital, he smiled weakly. "You did good, kid," he said. Rachel squeezed his hand. "We did good." Weeks later, Rachel stood alone at Willow Creek Cemetery at a small, simple grave. Emma Clark. She placed a single white rose on the headstone. "I'm sorry it took so long," Rachel whispered, "but they'll never forget you now." The wind stirred around her, carrying away her words like a prayer. Somewhere in the distance, church bells rang, soft, hopeful. Rachel turned and walked away, her heart heavy but stronger. The fight wasn't over. There were still so many wrongs in the world, but now she knew. One voice could make a difference. One story could change everything, and Rachel Turner wasn't done yet, not even close.